Hey guys, Magenta's back here today again with another future card Buddyfight deck profile. After 4 weeks of not posting any videos, Magenta is back with one of the newest decks out there, featuring the new secret set as well, which is Kaido Dai's Dragon Chief Emperor deck. So these 4 weeks I've been pretty caught up with some other shit. Yeah, like my schoolwork. Yeah, basically that's it, man. Yep, so really happy to be able to have some time to make a deck profile again. So let's get on with it. So yeah, so this deck basically, if you watch the Buddyfight anime, you will know that this deck is the deck that beats Duel Jaegar easily. Alright, so our flag and Buddy here. Buddy is Buddy Rare version of Martial Arts Chief Duel Jaegar. Size 3 monster, 10k power, 5k defense, 2 crits. Pay 2 gauge, put up to 2 cards from the drop zone to discard soul. And during this card's battle, you may discard Dragon Chief Emperor from your hand. If you do, for this battle, this card gets 10k defense. Basically, this deck, focuses on walling up your center, and then you just protect yourself by doing that. So of course, you would ask, walling up yourself, wouldn't that be susceptible to penetrate? But of course, the evolved version of Duel Jaegar does not allow you to take effect damage, which penetrate just happens to be. So you're safe from penetrate, but you're not really safe from shadow dive. Yeah, that's one weakness of the deck. So overall, I would like to call this a beatdown deck because your monster has high power, high defense. Not for the other Duel Jaegar, but high power, you can just wreck any monster your opponent throws at you. And defense, basically heavy soul guard and spells to protect your monster. Yeah, that's right. Alright, so without further ado, let's go with the deck itself. So for the size 3s, we play 2 copies of Colossal Ocean Chief Duel Jaegar. Pretty vanilla. Pay 2 gauge, put up to 1 Dragon Chief Emperor from a drop zone in this card. So, 8k power, 3 crit, 6k defense, penetrate, soul guard. Yeah. Basically, just 2 copies of it because it's a really basic one. We don't really want it, but it's there to be a Duel Jaegar. So next, 2 copies of Great Ocean Deity Duel Jaegar Caesarion. Pay 2 gauge, put this card on top of size 3 monster. Size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor without soul on your field, and put the top card of the deck into this card soul. When this card enters the field, destroy a monster on your opponent's field, double attack soul guard, lifelink 2. So it's also there. Basically, there are 2 types of Duel Jaegars. One is the base, and the other one is the evolution. So as you can see, this is obviously the base, and this is the evolution. So yeah. And of course, our Buddy Monster is also another type of base. 4 copies of our Buddy Monster. Can wall up really good. And it has 2 cards Soul Guard. However, it doesn't have high crit or high or double attack and stuff like that. Yeah, so, well, I mean, it's still good early game. You just block off your opponent, and then late game you can just finish him off with this card. So this card is the card that beats Tasuku Ryuenji. Yeah, you can take a look at it. Stout Wrist Unmatched Chief Duel Jaegar Revolted. Pay 3 gauge, put this card on top of a monster without soul with Duel Jaegar in its name, and put 8 Dragon Chief Emperor from the drop zone into this card soul. Basically, this card has 10 lives. You have to kill it 10 times. Double attack soul guard, lifelink loose. If this card is on your center, you cannot be dealt damage by effects from your opponent's cards. 20k power, 2 crits, 3k defense. So because this card has to be killed 10 times. 3k defense is for balance issues. Just like Death Talika has 3k defense, so it's not overwhelmingly too powerful. Yeah, but anyway, the point of this deck is you use your bases and you evolve into your bigger guys. So of course, these evolutions have double attack, so it's better at killing off your opponent's stuff. Yeah, but the bases are just there to early game, to hold out early game. And then, yeah, basically, you just out-survive your opponent. Yeah, and of course, because it's Ancient World, the spells are really powerful, so you don't run out of spells. Run out of cards in your hand easily. So that's it for the size 3 monsters. just 12 copies, and of course in the deck we run searches, so consistency is not an issue. So moving on to the support cards, 2 copies of Chief of Heal, Healing Rin. So what this card does is, if you have a size 3 monster, discard this from your hand. If you do, put the top card of your deck into your gauge and gain 1 life, and you may put the top card of your deck into a soul of a monster. Yeah, basically all these support monsters act as spells, but they are monsters, so spell nullifiers don't work on them. So it's pretty good. So basically this allows you to increase your gauge and your life, and you can increase the soul of a monster. Now next, Chief of Steel, Iron Tetsu. So during your opponent's turn, you may, during an attack on your opponent's turn, if you have a size 3 monster on your field, size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor on your field, discard this card, pay 1 gauge, nullify the attack, and gain 1 life. Basically, it's something like Chillax. Pay 1 gauge, nullify the attack. However, of course, being a monster, this card's effects cannot be nullified readily by your opponent's spell nullifies. And lastly, 2 copies of Chief of Steel, Protect Core. So they're both Chief of Steels. I don't know why, but basically this card, we have 2 shiny versions. Alright, it's just a common actually. So what this card does, if you have size 3 monster, Dragon Chief Emperor on your field, discard this from your hand and pay 2 life. For this turn, the monster on your field cannot be destroyed by effects from your opponent's cards. Because some decks like Abigail and Decker Drum, they're really good at just destroying a monster completely by just spamming their skills. And then because of new support that they've got, which allows you to the spell that allows you to choose a monster and when the monster is destroyed, you get to draw a card. So basically this prevents it from prevents your super strong monster from dying to effects easily. So 2 copies, really important. If you don't have it, you might just lose because you cannot protect your monster. Yeah. So that's it for the size 2 support cards. Moving on, 4 copies of Underling Bad Guy Moto. This guy acts as Dragon Energy. If you have a size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor on your field in battle, you discard this card from your hand and pay 1 life. If you do, draw a card, and for this battle, that monster gets 5k power, 5k defense. Basically, Dragon Energy without your counter attack, but of course, at the cost of pay 1 life, you get to draw a card. So basically, you're not using any cards for this. So yeah, you can refill your hand, or rather, you're not using anything from your hand. So lastly, 2 copies of Underling Kikashun. So 2 copies and shiny versions as well, even though it's an uncommon. So we got a parallel foil. Underling Kikashun, size 1 monster. If you have an originally size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor on your field, reduce the size of this card by 1. Basically, it's a size 0. 2k power, 1 crit, 2k defense. When this card attacks, you have a size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor on your field, do 1 damage to your opponent. Basically, late game push for damage. You can call this guy. Essentially, it's a 2 crit, but it's a 1 crit and a 1 burn. So yeah, it's harder for your opponent to nullify it because essentially they're nullifying a 1 crit attack. So that's it for the monsters. So pretty strong lineup of monsters. Basically your size 3s are really good, and your other monsters are essentially spells to support them. So of course, being Ancient World, we run the Ancient World standard spells. 4 copies of Divine Dragon Creation. If you don't know what this does, pay 2 life, draw 2 cards. You mainly cast this card once per turn. Yeah, it's a staple in almost every Ancient World deck. And 4 copies of Dragon Emperor Legend. This is new art from the Trial deck. Put the top card of your deck into your gauge, gain 1 life, and draw a card. Basically, you're getting free life, free gauge, and you get to cycle your deck as well if you don't draw into your Dragon Chief Emperors. So that's the staples for the deck. And of course, as mentioned just now, we're gonna run searches to improve consistency. Dragon Within the Ocean. Pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life, search your deck for 1 size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor, put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. You mainly cast these cards once per turn. So really flexible card. You can search for any of those Duel Jaegars. So if you have the normal, your Buddy Monster form, you can search for the 10 lives form. Or if you have the 10 lives form in your hand, you can search for your Buddy Monster easily with this card. So basically, essentially, it's like having 7 copies of those guys. Yeah. And since that 10 lives guy require specifically 8 Dragon Chief Emperor cards, we run 4 copies of Godly Speed of Dragons. Basically something like XLN, but it's for Ancient World and it's only mill 2. So Godly Speed of Dragons, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your drop zone and put the top card of your deck into your gauge. So it's gauge increase. And if this card is in the Soul of Dragon Chief Emperor monster, this card cannot be put in a drop zone by effects from your opponent's cards. Basically, cards like Dragon Arms Transporter cannot work on this specific soul. So let's say you have your 10 lives guy on top of your buddy monster, and you have random 8 cards, 8 Dragon Chief Emperor cards. Let's say for example this. So Transporter attacks, he can burn this soul, but he cannot burn this. Yeah, that's how this card works. And of course it works as milling as well. So you can accelerate. So you can reach your 8 cards faster. Alright, anyway, this deck tries to maximize out on Dragon Chief Emperors. Tries, but of course the staples cannot be removed because they're just so good, you don't remove it. Yeah, so that's part 1 of the spells. Moving on, because of rising weapon meta, 2 copies of Dragons all staked in. You mainly cast this card with a size 3 monster on your field. Pay 1 each, pay 1 life. Destroy an item on your opponent's field. Yeah, 2 copies because you don't really have to destroy that many items. Next, 2 copies of Wrath Trigger. It's an old card. Pay 1 each, pay 1 life. Choose a monster on your field during this turn. When the monster will be destroyed, remains on the field and give it counter attack. Basically, counter attack lasts for the whole turn, so your 10 lives monster gets to survive and kill off your opponent's monsters. Because, I mean, 20k, basically Soul Guard and counter attack works like what's that guy? Demon Goldo, yeah. So basically, he burns your soul and you burn his monster. Simple. So apart from Wrath Trigger, with the hefty cost of pay 1 each and pay 1 life, we run 3 copies of Dragon and Strong, which is kinda like Wrath Trigger, but just specifically for Dragon Chief Emperors. Choose a size 3 Dragon Chief Emperor and field for this turn. Next time this card will be destroyed. Gain 1 life and that card stays on the field. Yep, so it's a little worse because you don't get counter attack, however, the life is pretty good. So that's all for the spells. So for the items, as you have seen in the anime, 4 copies of Ocean Empress Anchor Wild Waves. Pay 1 gauge, put the top card of your deck into a drop zone. Basically you're milling 2, adding 2 cards in the drop zone because 1 from the gauge and 1 from your deck. This card can attack even if there's a monster in the center and counteract. You may pay 1 gauge and pay 1 life. If you do, put this card from the field into a Soul of Dragon Chief Emperor monster. If this card is on the Soul of Dragon Chief Emperor monster, that card gets penetrate. Yeah, basically 2 ways to use it. Let me just clear off the mat. So let's say you have this 10 lives guy and your item, and you have like random cards as your gauge. So one way you can use it offensively. So let's say he has a monster in the center, you attack once with your item, and then you attack again with this. No, you attack once with your item, then you use the item skill, pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life, and your monster gets penetrate, so your monster can attack twice with penetrate. So that's one way to get it. Next way is just attack, and because next way you use it when your opponent doesn't have a monster in the center, you just keep your item, so your monster attack twice, then your item attacks, then let's say your opponent wants to destroy this card, your item can still use the counter to put it inside. Pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life, put it inside the soul and sacrifices for your guy. Yeah, so pretty flexible item. However, the sad thing is that it's not a Dragon Chief Emperor in its attribute, so yeah, I mean, milling this card from your deck wouldn't help, but whatever, like more than 50% of the deck is Dragon Chief Emperor anyway. So that's it for the deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below, show me some support. If you're new to my channel, subscribe if you'd like to see more Buddyfight deck profiles, card reviews and stuff like that. Also, be sure to add me on Facebook. You can talk to me about Buddyfight. I'll be glad to reply you. Yep, and until next video, goodbye, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.